Hey, welcome back, my amazing student. So I want to add another feature to this application where it's going to remember the session of the user. Now, I know you've seen this in other forms, but I want to show you here what that is exactly for some of you, because some of you are brand new to this. But anyway, so let's say I'm logging in here. So I'm going to show you the problem real quick, what the problem is. So I'm going to log in, right? And we're logged in. But if I close my browser, and I come back to my application, right? Sorry about that. I was just looking at my addresses there. So you can see now that I'm actually redirected to the login page. It's not because I'm trying to access the dashboard, but the session is not available anymore. So this is the problem. What we want is some type of feature that when we click on it, their application will remember us, even if we close the browser for 20 days, as an example. Every time we come back, it will redirect us to the dashboard, or we can access those pages because we still have a session. So this is called the Remember Me feature. So that's exactly what we're going to do in this lecture. And I'm going to put this checkbox, because it's a checkbox and you've seen it before. It's mostly in all forms on the internet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here. So I'm going to create some classes here. So just bear with me for a minute. So this would be a flex items. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna pause this and just to write the classes, but it's gonna be really fast. And then you guys can just copy, so that way you don't have to see me typing. All right. I was gonna do the whole form, but I prefer not to. I want you guys to actually look at me when I'm typing this stuff. I know some of you are brand new to Tailwind, and I like to explain what I'm actually doing. So I'm gonna put a class here of inline, since this is gonna be a label, and we're gonna make it inline flex, and then we're gonna have some items that are gonna be center. So we got another class for that in Tailwind. Let's give it a gap, so give it some space. Let's also make this very small, the text in the label, so that way it looks good. Guys, and you see me typing this stuff, keep in mind that I've been actually writing using Tailwind for a little bit, and it is easy for me, all right? It might not be that easy for you if you're just brand new, okay? So bear that in mind. Don't compare yourself with me. All right, so label, and then we're gonna put the input inside the label. Our prettier extension here is gonna fix this for me, all right? So that's an extension that I got for VS Code, for those of you that don't know. And let's create the input here. It's gonna be type checkbox. And let's see how this looks actually right now. So we refresh, you can see the input looks normal. It looks good. We don't even have to write a lot of classes to make it look nice, right? But I'm going to put just a little bit of styles, right, into this, just to make it look a little better. Because right now, if I click on this, yeah, it's all right. We don't need that much there, but let me just put a little bit here so that way you guys can get this benefit from it. So I'm gonna do height 4, width 4. I'm gonna make it rounded. The border, I'm gonna make a little border here. I'll do 400. And the background, slate 800. Give it some text brand here so that it looks a little bit, it looks better. And let me work on the focus ring here. So that way we focus, we have a little ring brand. It just gives it a little more styles, guys. All right, it just makes it look a little more modern, all right? What I just done. Anyway, so that's it for that. Now let's go ahead and right here, I'm gonna pass in the remember. That's gonna take the value, which I'm gonna set right here to be 1. All right, so these checkboxes, by default, they're gonna have an on and off value. What we're gonna do is we're gonna change it to be 1, because that's what our module is gonna be looking for in the back end, all right? So now, when I click here, of course, this is gonna be equal to 1. What we need to do is we need to go to the back end now, and right before we log in, right after we log in, right here, as a matter of fact, I have all this stuff right here. I'm going to get this from the form, right? So let's call this the remember. Remember, let me just indent this a little bit there. So this variable here will be the remember flag, okay? Let's call it like that. You can call it whatever you want. I'm gonna grab the request from the form object, get method, and I'm going to grab the remember value from there. If not, well, let's actually do a comparison right here and evaluate this. If this is equal to 1, I want that value in here, all right? So now that we have that, let's just go ahead and paste that on top there. I use this space here just to show you, but really what you need to do is you need to put it up here because we're trying to get that value before, so we can pass it into the login user function here. All right, that's the trick. You got to pass it right here. Okay, so it's going to be called remember in there, but we are passing in the remember flag to the login user. And once you do that, that's it. Okay, that's all we need for our functionality here to work. So I'm going to refresh this just to make sure my application did not break. I'm going to log in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to check this and I'm going to sign in. Now we're signed in, right? We're going to do the same thing we did before where I quit the browser and it did not allow us to dashboard, right? It did not remember us. So I'm going to go ahead and go and do this again. Let's go back into our application. Boom, right? And let's go to the dashboard. And you can see that we're still logged in. Really cool stuff, right? Really cool stuff. Now, if you want your cookie, now by default, this is not going to remember us for long. Sorry, I take that back. What I meant is that this is going to remember us for a very long time if we leave it by default, all right? So what we can do here is that you can change the time of the cookie whenever you want to, modify it, whenever you want a lower count. Now, by default, this is going to remember us for like 365 days or something like a year. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a very long time. So what we can do is we can go and inside the configuration, inside the create app here, we can configure this, okay? We can set our own duration here. So what we can do is we can say, let me just copy one of these guys here. And let me paste it right here. So right here, you can set this configuration. You can set it to whatever you want, really. It's called remember cookie. Yeah, almost went blank there for a minute, duration. And now here, you can set this to however you want. Let's, as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and use Delta to take care of this for us. So that way we can just, instead of putting timestamps here and numbers, like this, we can actually set this to take days. So from datetime right here, from datetime, we're gonna import time delta, okay? And with this here, now what I can do, and I've used this in other applications, you guys see me doing this already. What I can do is I can say, well, I want this to last 15 days. And now we can do that. It looks a lot better than just putting numbers here, random stuff, right? Really nice stuff. Remember _cookie _duration in all uppercase, right? Really cool stuff. So now we have a cookie that is going to remember us for a very long time. So if I inspect this and you look in here, you can see the remember token right here. All right. So let me just make that bigger so you can see it. Remember token. All right. And it's going to set that expiration there. It's going to tell you when it's going to expire right here. All right. Anyway, for that new thing to work here, what you need to do is you need to, of course, log out. Once you log out, that cookie is totally gone. You can see that. It's deleted. All right. And now when you log back in, when you do this again, it's going to set a new time. Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Hopefully this helps you out. And I'll see you guys on the next following lectures.